people think of men as these strong human beings that nothing phases them, but really there's a lot of men that are afraid, that are scared, that are anxious, that are depressed, that they don't show it, but they need the support. They need mentors. They need leaders. They need people to guide them.
You and I were introduced by Steve McCullough, who is the superintendent of Educational Service District 123, which is around Kennewick and other places in eastern and southeastern Washington, right?
Correct.
And at the time, you were the early learning coaching coordinator for ESD 123. So now you work for Head Start?
Mm-hmm. Ben Franklin Head Start. So I've been working for Head Start probably before I went to the ESD. I was working here for roughly 7 years. So I started here as a lead teacher, then I moved up as a coach, and then a site supervisor. And honestly, it started just from my home. So I started a weekly Bible study, and then I have my brother-in-law say, "Hey, I got this guy, and I would like for you to work with him." So he was like pretty much the first guinea pig. He came over, and I just like, "Hey, man, I just want to help you out." And so I just told him, "Hey, I believe in you. You got this." So he lost, I mean, everything. He lost his job. He lost his vehicle. The final straw was his family, his wife, "Hey, we're moving back to Miami, and I'm taking the children." So it was him by himself. And yeah, and he came to me, and I mean, his life turned it around. And like a month later, he came and told me, he's like, "Hey," he's like, "I want to thank you so much." And I'm like, "No, man, you did it all by yourself." And he's like, "No, you don't understand." He's like, that week that I met him, he was already planning his suicide. So he was planning on how he was going to do it, how he was going to carry it out, and I was shocked. And right now, he's doing amazing. He works for the Ben Franklin Transit. His family's back. His children are back, and he's really striving to be a
His
better
children are
father.
back?
Yep, they came back and they're living with him, and they're trying to make it work. And I mean, he's super happy. And now he tells his story to everyone and helps other men in the same situation. Then people would call me, "Hey, I got another guy. I got another guy." And then I was like, "Okay, man, this is awesome." So then they're, let's try to transform me. And then I told my wife, "Hey, help me." So then we started getting young couples on the verge of divorce. I mentor the men, she mentors the women, and then together we kind of do like some type of like marriage counseling type thing. And then families started being restored through that way. And then so now again, anyone that's like on the verge of divorce, they call my wife and I, "Hey, we got this couple." So they keep sending people our way. So that's where it started, honestly, with him. And so in my church, I was able to affect those men. And then at Head Start, we have roughly 300 or 400 families. But then I was like, I'm not in the community. So that's where now I'm starting my own. We're in the initial stages of starting my own nonprofit organization in the community in Tri-Cities.
So will you continue being an employee of Head Start while you're doing your new nonprofit?
Yeah, so I'll still continue a Head Start. So I plan dad nights. We actually just had one on Tuesday, and we invite all the dads, and we have an activity. We feed them, and yeah, 4 of them showed up. 3 of them are going to be part of my planning committee. So for my nonprofit, we're launching what is called 24/7 Dad, the program from the National Fatherhood Initiative. So we're using that curriculum as a basis for the nonprofit. So our goal is really to create as many 24/7 dad groups as we can throughout the Tri-Cities. We're going to get ready to launch our own 24/7 dad group with Head Start dads. And we're going to get that going in February. And just help organizations start their own fatherhood group wherever they're at. And so we would support them, train them, the leaders to give those classes, help them with the curriculum, and really get as many father support groups as we can in the Tri-Cities.
Are there other examples you can share, stories of dads that you've worked with?
So we're working with some right now from our class that we have right now. One of the guys, he had a court date to try to get a parenting plan. And he called me, and I was in a meeting and I didn't pick up. And he texted me. He said, "Hey, I was just calling you. I'm just very, very emotional right now, and I just wanted prayer." So I stepped out, called him, and I just prayed with him. And I told him, "Man, you got this, and keep your head up." whatever the outcome is, we're on this journey together. And I tell people, yeah, people think of men as these strong human being that nothing phases them, but really there's a lot of men that are afraid, that are scared, that are anxious, that are depressed, that they don't show it, but they need the support. They need mentors. They need leaders. They need people to guide them. A lot of them didn't have that experience of a father that really showed them, or they did, or their fathers did the best they could with the tools they had. So yeah, so that's where we come in and try to do our best to really mentor these guys and show them healthy ways to deal with stress and anxiety and whatever is affecting them. One of the guys that comes to our class on Mondays, he's driving all the way from Yakima every Monday to come to the class from 6 to 8 p.m. because that's how much he likes the class, the support that he has from all the guys around him. And the class started from people being nervous to I don't know what to say, I don't know why I'm here, to one of the guys. I mean, this last one, he was crying because he's just so stressed out about the parenting plan. And he started crying, and then everyone got up, gave him a hug, and you got this, keep going. And that's kind of the atmosphere that we created, and that's the atmosphere we want to create in these groups that we're going to establish throughout the Tri-Cities.
So with these parenting plan situations, do you find that they sometimes have happy outcomes where the dads are able to get the court and the mom and everyone to agree that they're going to be very involved in the children's lives, and maybe it'll be shared parenting, or at least there'll be a lot of ability for the dad to father their children?
Unfortunately, no. That's one of the things that they're finding out. One of the guys shared that he got a visitation, supervised visitation with his child, and there was someone taking notes, and he brought a gift for his daughter, obviously, because he hadn't really met her, so he brought her a gift. And then when he saw the notes later on, they put dad trying to bribe child with a toy. And then what else? There was one more. Oh, child is scared of dad, obviously, because they hadn't really met, because I think he went like 10 months without seeing her until he fought to see her. And all these things that he's like, and he was so stressed out and crying. He's like, why would you write that if I'm trying to be here for her? I'm trying to spend time with her, but obviously she's not going to know me because she's been away. And the gift, I just bought it because I don't even know what else to do. Like, I want to bring her something. I didn't want to come empty handed. And so all these notes just kind of shocked him that he was trying to be a part. He's trying to make it work. He's changing his life. And then the notes came back completely different than what he thought. So it wrecked him. And he's like, man, I just wanted to give up. And so we kind of encouraged him, don't give up, do it for your children. It's going to get probably hard, but keep going. And then another guy just texted me too. He had one today. His ex-partner, the children, like, hey, I'm going to be part of, I believe, like a pageant or something. I would love for you to come. And he's like, yeah, of course I will be there. And he texted his partner, never text back, called her, never called him back. So he said, how can I be part of their life if you don't answer, you don't give me a chance? And I just texted him like, hey, how'd it go? He's like, unfortunately, he's like, it went really bad. He's the same thing. He's like, I'm just overwhelmed. I want to give up and stuff. So I'm going to call him later. But yeah, these are stories we hear every day. So yeah, so these men are really just, there's a lot of support that's needed, that they need. And really no one is really helping them. And I just spoke with my supervisor here. When we have conferences, right? Little things like that organizations can do. When we're having conferences, how about you call both parents? If they're separated, we're working on where you have to have a conference with both parents. If they're divorced, you have to have a conference with the dad and with the mom. So those are things that we're going to change in our program, and we want to advocate with other programs. How are you serving dads? What are you doing to help dads? I am in contact with the health department. They have like a perinatal, she's a perinatal coordinator. So we're collaborating so how can we go in there and support dads that are about to be first time dads? So how can we be there and maybe run a cohort there? But we're collaborating with many people in the community, many organizations, and they're really, honestly, they're excited for us to go in and help and train their staff on how to serve fathers.
Have you been involved at all in the past in the work of the Washington Fatherhood Council, which was run out of the Department of Social and Health Services until recently?
Yeah, so that's how all of it really initiated. I went to one of their conferences, and that's where I met Ann Stone. And I told her, I remember after it was over, I'm like, hey, I would love to bring something like this back to the Tri Cities. And that's how the conversation started. And I mean, we got a community involved, and we did have a fatherhood cafe in April there at the ESD, and we brought community members, we brought work source, we brought like CPS. We brought a lot of different organizations, and we had a conversation really about fathers and how they serve them. And we brought fathers from the community, and they share their concern. So that way these people can take it back and change policies to support fathers. But we had an amazing conversation, and what I've seen is that everyone kind of does their own volunteer work on their own. So what I'm trying to do is, okay, you're running some fatherhood stuff over here, but you're overwhelmed and you have a full-time job and you're doing this on your own time. So am I. I'm doing it from my home, and then so are you. So we're just coming all together to support each other and make a change in the whole community instead of just in our programs.
I think you and I emailed earlier about your involvement in something that involved going to Olympia and speaking with legislators.
Yeah, so one of the things that I want to do is get the group of men that we have here and just spend a day in Olympia where we can advocate, we can share stories. I spoke to these guys that are in my class, and I told them about the work you're doing, and they said they're willing to share their story too because they're right in the process right now. We're also going to record their testimonies and have them ready. So once they graduate from the class, so people can see really what we're doing and how they're changing. I was part of Leadership Tri-Cities, and we went a tour of the juvenile system. And yeah, and that's the first thing they said. Like they're like, "How'd you get here?" And that's the same. They all had the same thing in common. We didn't have a dad. We didn't have anyone to guide us, so we went straight to the streets and made our own choices because we didn't have no guidance. I mean, the effect is huge, and that's what I believe. That's why I'm doing this. I'm a big believer that if we have strong, healthy men, we're going to have strong, healthy marriages. We're going to have strong, healthy children. We're going to have strong, healthy families and a strong and healthy community. But again, it starts with the man, and that's why I'm doing this. And I feel like, and I know that men have a lot of pressure. If there's money to pay the bills, hey, you're the father. You got to work 2, 3 jobs, disciplining children. Wives usually look, hey, he's doing this, she's doing this, so you got to come. And I mean, there's so much. There's a list of things that I feel like there's a lot of responsibility in men that people don't really acknowledge or, I guess, value. And we talk about that as men. They never know. It's rare they tell me, hey, good job, or you're doing awesome. I told my mentor, one of my mentors, I'm like, hey, man, I really appreciate you because like you take the time to meet with me, you take the time to guide me. Like you're an amazing person. And he got so awkward. He got so awkward. He changed the conversation so quick. Like he's not used to people saying positive things about him. And I'm like, and it caught me off guard. I'm like, no, you are an amazing person. He's like, okay, well, change the conversation again because men don't hear it, right? They're doing all these amazing things and they don't hear it. So I challenge men. I tell them, say something nice to people. Hey, I like your shoes. Hey, good haircut. Or, say something, acknowledge other men.
It is rare that we receive those kinds of compliments and praise. And we don't need a ton of it, but some of it does make a difference.
Yeah.
Getting some of that positivity.
Yeah, I read a book where they did like a study on women that told husbands what to do, and they didn't do it. And then the other side, all they had to do is they would just give compliments, just compliments. Hey, you're an amazing father. You're a hard worker. They did it. They did all those things without being asked to. Just because of the positive reinforcement. They were, hey, thank you for doing this. Hey, thank you. Hey, you're an amazing this. And they did it without being asked to. Over here, these guys, No, they never did. And they was angry and they were fighting and you're nagging, all this stuff. But that's a power of saying something positive to men. And when we talk about with couples, that's something we mention, and vice versa, right? Not just obviously to men, but then there's the other side for women too. And this is not men versus women type thing, but really men need to be coached. Women need to be coached. We both need help. We both need support. But in our society, in our community, there's a lot of support for women. There's a lot of support for women. There's a lot, and not as much for men. Perinatal, right? First time parents. We had a couple. She's like, I got stacks and stacks of resources, and my husband turned to me and he said, "What about me?" He didn't get one pamphlet, one flyer, and she's like, "I'm so sorry. I don't know if there is anything for you." Um, so those kinds of things, right? You're gonna be a first year dad, like you're scared out of your mind, and they're over here telling you, "Hey, how to support your wife," which obviously we are. But then what about me, right? What about my anxiety? What about my fears of holding the child and I think he's gonna fall, so I'm not gonna touch him. But then my wife's gonna think, "Hey, you're being an irresponsible father," but it's not. It's just I'm just scared that I'm gonna drop him. That's just my fears. But no one. So who do I tell, or who acknowledges my fear, or what can I do with this fear? It's difficult for men because you get it from both sides. So when I was a first year dad, I told the men, I'm like, "Hey man, I think I'm kind of feeling, maybe kind of stressed out and stuff like that." And then they'd be like, "Oh my gosh, watch out, Mr. Anxiety." And so they were making fun of me because I was saying that maybe I was stressed out. And then I went to the women. I'm like, "Hey, I feel kind of like this. Like, are you kidding me? You did not give birth. You did not go through the pain." So they belittled me on this side and they bullied me on this side. So then I was like, okay, then I'll just shut up and go through this process by myself with all this fear, with all these emotions, suck it up because my wife's the one that suffered. So now it's all about her. And then I'm just over here dealing with my emotions by myself inside. And that's why we have a lot of these men that don't know how to channel these emotions, this stress, and they do it through drug addiction, alcoholism, pornography. I mean, whatever it is, the way they channel it, and just not healthy ways. And that's why I'm doing this, really just to support and help out, honestly, where I can. It's not that we're trying to change the person. We just want to create a space where you can come and talk about these things, and then we provide resources for you. So we're not going to give you professional counseling, but we are going to give you resources to where you can find it in the community. So we really want to be the hub for fathers with whatever your need is. We can connect you with WorkSource if you're looking for a job. I mean, whatever your need is, we're going to support you. But there is a space that you can come and talk about specific topics that you wouldn't get the chance to talk about anywhere else, in a safe place where no one's going to judge you. But on the contrary, there's going to be a group of men that we're going to support you and walk alongside you through this process called life.
Beautiful. Do you think what I'm doing with Washington Initiative for Boys and Men and some of the people that I might know that you don't yet know, can that be helpful to you in the future?
Oh, yes. Yes, I think what you're doing honestly is amazing, and I know for sure once we get the whole nonprofit going, we're really going to reach out to you and see. I would like for you to come and speak. That's one of the beauties of doing nonprofit or just getting involved, is meeting all these awesome leaders that are humbly doing these things, not making money, but really seeing the love that they have for the community. So I've been partnering up with Big Bro Joe Foundation. I'm trying to collaborate with him. So he mentors. I don't know if you heard of him, but he mentors.
Yeah.
I told him, where the fathers that I have, hey, here's an organization where you can volunteer and make an impact on young men. So we can collaborate once they graduate from ours or from the program. Then send them over here. These are volunteer opportunities. This is how you can help this organization. There's another one that I reached out to, Sparkle. They just started, but they're focused on mental health. And the gentleman that's running it, he started a men's group as well. And so I met up with him, and then so we're gonna be collaborating on future events. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to just working with other organizations and partnering up with them and really come together to support fathers in our community.